الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله.
In the name of God, the Merciful. For those going on Hajj, so they may know the basic rules, the first question is, for whom is Hajj obligatory? Hajj becomes religiously obligatory at the time when official Hajj applications open within your home country, provided you possess wealth that is in excess of your basic needs and daily living expenses, and you have accumulated enough wealth to fully pay for those Hajj applications, regardless of whether they are through private travel operators or the government-run pilgrimage schemes applications. For example, if Hajj applications are being accepted during the month of January in your country, whatever the specific cost of that particular government or private package may be, and you have enough money in January, what you had before or after that will not be considered. At that specific time, you must have enough funds to cover airfare, hotel fees, and the costs of whichever package you choose to select for your journey, whether it is a cheap or an expensive one, or even the most expensive package. If you can afford even the cheapest package, Hajj becomes obligatory. This includes travel costs and leaving enough for your family's expenses. Whoever possesses this financial capacity must perform Hajj. It is not like other forms of wealth where a full lunar year must pass. No, that is not required here. What matters is actually having the funds at the moment when Hajj applications are being submitted. Please understand this specific point very well. At the time of application, you must possess at least this much wealth under your control. This wealth could be liquid cash, gold or silver ornaments, or trade goods, including any inventory or shop items that you have specifically purchased with the intention of reselling them for profit, items you bought for the express purpose of selling, like your shop stock, or even property or real estate that is not being used all year round for your living. So if you possess such wealth, whether it be gold, silver, cash, or some property that you do not actually use throughout the year for your basic living needs, meaning if someone has a plot worth 2 to 2.5 million, since Hajj is easily done for that much today, then it's mandatory to sell it. If they sold the plot and spent the money before the Hajj applications officially opened, then it isn't required. But if they still possessed it when applications were being accepted by the government authorities in their country and they did not sell it or perform Hajj, then Hajj becomes truly obligatory for them. This religious duty never lapses. They must perform it next year or even the year after that particular year without any fail. Even if the money runs out, the duty remains. They must then leave a will to perform Hajj from 1/3 of their estate. That is how Hajj becomes mandatory. Regarding Hajj, people often ask, what is the actual difference between Hajj and Umrah? And what is the correct method for performing the various required rituals that are mandatory for every single Muslim pilgrim? There are entire documentaries and lengthy books written on the procedures, but I will explain the Hajj and Umrah to you in very simple, easy to understand terms that anyone can follow. Both are very simple. Understanding them shouldn't be a source of stress for you at all, because people often get overwhelmed when they see such thick books and so many complex issues. You see, the pilgrimage of Hajj consists of just two things. First, there is one prerequisite, and then there are two essential pillars that must be completed for a valid Hajj. What are these essential pillars? The first is the stay at Arafah, which means that on the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, after the sun begins to decline from its zenith in the sky and the shadows begin to lengthen, from that specific time until the actual break of dawn, if at any point during this whole period you have simply been present, have spent time on the day of Arafah, at the location of Arafah, in the plain of Arafat on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. Let me say it again. After midday on the 9th, the next day is then Eid, right? So on the day before the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the 9th, if from the time of midday onwards until just before the actual break of dawn, you spend even a few short seconds within the plain of Arafat during that specific and very important time period, then one essential pillar of your Hajj has been successfully performed. The sunnah isn't just to spend a single second. The complete sunnah way is that you should stay there in Arafah from the time of midday until the sun has fully set in the evening before moving on. And then after sunset, you should proceed to Muzdalifah. That is the method, but for the mandatory pillar, meaning your Hajj will be valid, that one pillar will have been fulfilled. What is the second pillar? It is Tawaf-e-Ziyarat. Now, what exactly does Tawaf-e-Ziyarat mean? It is the Tawaf performed during the first 3 days of the Eid celebration. Performing those 7 circuits around the sacred house of Allah, these are the two essential pillars. If someone completes these two, provided you are in the state of Ihram throughout the entire duration of the process. The condition is being in Ihram. For Wukuf-e-Arafah, it is an absolute condition to be in the state of Ihram, but for Tawaf-e-Ziyarat, it is not. Now, what does a condition really mean? Like wudu is a condition for prayer. Now, what are the pillars of prayer? standing, bowing, and prostrating. These are all pillars, but the absolute condition for them to be valid is being in wudu. If you are not in wudu, these pillars will not be fulfilled. Similarly, being in the state of ihram is absolutely necessary for Hajj. What ihram actually is, I will also explain to you very soon, tell you right now. So you will be in the state of ihram and then you will perform the stay at Arafah, which simply means that you will spend some time in the plain of Arafat. You will stay in the plain of Arafat for even a short while and then perform tawaf-e-ziyarat during the 3 days of Eid. And so your complete pilgrimage of Hajj will be officially and fully rendered as performed. As for all the other various rituals of Hajj, like the stoning of the pillars or the stay in the valley of Mina, there are many details you can learn about later on today. Among them, some rituals are mandatory. If you do not perform them, you will be a sinner, but giving a sacrifice will compensate for it. And some rituals are not even mandatory, but are classified as sunnah muakkada, which means they are highly emphasized traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, like staying in Mina, and some rituals are non-emphasized traditions. For all the details, you can read the books, and a common person does not necessarily need all of them, does not need them. Knowing this much is enough. If you perform these two acts while in the state of ihram, the stay at Arafah, and the following essential act of performing the tawaf of ziyarah, then your Hajj is fulfilled. You will be called a Haji. You are known as Al-Hajj.